Abraham de Moivre was a famous mathematician who was born in 1667 in France. He grew up in a time when many important changes were happening in science and mathematics. People were starting to learn more about the world and how things work. De Moivre became one of the most important people in mathematics, especially for his work with probability and statistics. When he was young, de Moivre was very interested in learning. He liked numbers and mathematics more than anything else. His family wanted him to have a good education, so they sent him to study at the University of Angers in France. There, de Moivre learned about the works of other great mathematicians, like Isaac Newton and Blaise Pascal. These men had made important discoveries that helped to change how people thought about the world. De Moivre soon became very interested in probability, which is the study of how likely something is to happen. At that time, people did not know much about probability, and many things that happened in life seemed like random events. For example, people used dice for games, but they did not understand how often a particular number would come up. De Moivre wanted to understand why some numbers appeared more often than others. He believed that studying these patterns could help explain the world in a better way. He spent much of his time thinking about how chance worked and how it could be measured. In 1692, de Moivre moved to England, where he spent most of his life. He was not able to find a job in the university, but he still worked hard on his mathematics. He made many important discoveries during this time. One of his big ideas was called the law of large numbers. This law says that if you do something many times, like rolling a dice or flipping a coin, the results will start to get closer to the expected outcome. For example, if you flip a coin many times, it will come up heads about half the time and tails about half the time. This idea helped people to understand that random events follow certain patterns, even though they seem unpredictable at first. In 1718, de Moivre wrote a book called The Doctrine of Chances. In this book, he explained his ideas about probability and how it could be used to understand random events. The book was very important, and many other mathematicians read it. They learned from de Moivre's work and built upon it. His ideas helped people to understand how chance works in games, in nature, and in everyday life. The book became a key reference for anyone studying probability and chance. It gave many new insights into how to approach problems that involved uncertainty. De Moivre also worked on finding patterns in numbers. One of his discoveries was about how to find the values of trigonometric functions like sine and cosine. These functions are important in geometry and many other areas of mathematics. De Moivre found a formula that helped people to calculate these values more easily, and his formula is still used today. This formula made it easier for people to work with trigonometric functions and helped to simplify many complex mathematical problems. His work in this area was influential, and it became a foundation for many future discoveries in mathematics. One of de Moivre's most famous results is called de Moivre's theorem. This theorem shows how to raise complex numbers to a power. Complex numbers are numbers that have both a real part and an imaginary part. These numbers might seem strange at first, but they are very useful in many areas of mathematics and physics. De Moivre's theorem made it easier for mathematicians to work with these numbers and understand their properties. Complex numbers are now widely used in fields like engineering, physics, and computer science, and de Moivre's theorem plays an important role in working with them. De Moivre's work did not only help mathematicians, it also helped people in other fields, like astronomy and physics. For example, his work on probability made it easier to understand how things like weather patterns and the movements of planets could be predicted. His ideas about numbers and mathematics were used by scientists to explain many things in the world around them. De Moivre's research helped to improve the way people thought about the relationship between mathematics and the natural world. This work was important not only for his time, but also for future generations of scientists and mathematicians. Although de Moivre made many important discoveries, he did not always get the recognition he deserved during his life. Many of the greatest mathematicians of his time were also his friends, and they respected his work. However, he was not famous in the same way that people like Isaac Newton were. De Moivre was content to work quietly and focus on his studies. He did not seek fame or recognition. Today, however, de Moivre is remembered as one of the most important mathematicians of his time. His ideas and discoveries have helped to shape modern mathematics, and many people continue to use his work in their own studies. In 1754, when de Moivre was 87 years old, he passed away. He had spent his life working hard on mathematics and making important discoveries that changed the way people understood the world. Even though he is no longer alive, his ideas continue to be used today. Many of the tools and methods that we use in mathematics and science were influenced by de Moivre's work. His contributions have had a lasting impact on many fields, and he is still studied by students and scholars today. Abraham de Moivre's life shows us how important it is to be curious and to never stop learning. Even though he faced many challenges in his life, he continued to work hard and make important contributions to science and mathematics. His story teaches us that with hard work and dedication, we can all make a difference in the world. De Moivre's life also shows us the value of perseverance. Despite not always being recognized in his lifetime, his work has stood the test of time. Today, his ideas continue to inspire new generations of mathematicians, scientists, and thinkers. His story reminds us that even small discoveries can have a big impact, and that great ideas often start with a question or a curiosity.